Hello, football family. Welcome into Huddle It Up Films. Here we are, 311. Happy 311 to those who may celebrate the band 311. Alec, trivia question off the top. You know, I like to do this kind of thing to you.
I got
Name me
nothing.
a 311 song, lyric. Tell me what you got.
I got nothing. My apologies.
No, not a fan of 311. You do know they're a band, though, right? 90s
I
band?
no.
No. Okay.
I got nothing on this. Sorry.
So help me out, chat. Help me out. What is your favorite 311 song? What is your favorite 311 lyric? They're rap rock. They're rap rock, kind of from the new metal days, but they got their own style. And most of their songs, sound the same. And that used to be a quality that I couldn't stand. Like Rage Against the Machine, every song sounds the same. This
Mhm.
band, every song sounds the same. But then when you get older, Alec, it's a lot of bands evolve and they go like their sound goes to crap. You know what I mean? They're totally
Yeah,
different bands decades later. So I kind of appreciate 311. I know what I'm getting. Might only listen to it for 20 minutes, but I know what I'm getting. So there
it's
we
a good
go.
formula, right?
It's a good formula. Good formula. I really appreciate everybody's participation on Monday. It was a great show. Had a lot of traffic. Hopefully, we'll have some traffic in here tonight, starting with Ashley Royalty. Good evening, Jason. Good evening, everyone. Let me scroll down members down at the bottom. Ashley, channel member. Thank you for your support, Ashley. Really appreciate that. It comes in handy. If you want to support the channel, the easiest thing to do is subscribe to the channel on our way to 5,000. That's a goal. And then, of course, you can support by becoming a channel member. I think that's only $2.99. So feel free to do that. The real Jake Vogel in here. What's up, guys? Wild 24 hours. It has been. And Alec, I would say the wildest offseason ever. Maybe since that first offseason when the team got here from Baltimore. I can't remember a wilder offseason.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I mean, we had a class of free agents from the 2022 draft that got a lot of love in free agency, got a lot of money, um, and we had a blockbuster trade not go through, um, and all the downstream repercussions of that. And then today we got a flurry of signings. Um, I think they took the tampering period seriously. They're like, we're not engaging in all this crap. Maybe smartly with you know, the trade still in progress. And then today they acted quickly and decisively. I feel like to fill in the holes of the guys that they prioritized. And yeah, it was nuts. I will say the lead up to the draft in 23 was a pretty crazy offseason with the Lamar talks and the trade discussions and things of that nature. But yeah.
New coaching staff, though, the
Yeah,
Bashad, Bashad.
yeah. If you add new coaching staff, not just this tampering period for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Well, I can't remember. Wild. Is it every week? It's something to talk about. Work wifey Chris checking in, and she's happy to see Alec. Alec, I guess you happened to see Chris's comments. Rachel. We need a note from your wife to be able to. And you're excused here.
Yeah, she got a good kick out of that when we were watching the beginning part of the stream on Monday. Sorry that I could not attend, but I think it was for the best. And I didn't even realize we were recording today, or I would have felt less bad. So now that we're recording today, I feel pretty good about this. We'll talk. Obviously, we have plenty to talk about. It wasn't
We
like
do.
it'd be like a reprise. It's there's
No,
all
it's
this
a
new
whole
stuff.
new fresh batch of stuff. And Jim says, "Can we talk about Crosby and move on?" Well, Jim, I haven't got a chance to talk about Crosby in the deal, so we're definitely going to talk about it. But we have new Ravens to talk about as well. And a tweet: Dev getting recognized by Mina Kimes. Can't wait. I have to tease that one. But yeah, Dev got retweeted or subtweeted by Mina Kimes. I thought that was awesome. Yeah, Jake, a lot of additions today. EDC said his phone hasn't stopped ringing, so everything's okay. Everything's stable. Zhang, thank for the super chat the other night. Hey, Jason. Hey, Alec. The bestie is in there. Hassan in here. Yo, what is up, Hassan? Nice seeing you, man. Nice seeing you. Mike, what's going on, Mike? Okay, let's get into it. Alec, where should we start? let's do Jim a favor and just get over the Maxx Crosby stuff right away.
Well,
Because
I
I
think
did.
we should. I think we should start in the actual timeline. Okay.
Okay.
First thing that happened is that Project Pat goes up to the gulag in Giants Nation, uh, and leaves the Ravens, and everyone was like, "Ah, we lost him. That's not that surprising." Memes, of him going up to the Giants, and then within like 5 minutes, the Raiders tweet and completely bury that news, and people move on. So that's why I just wanted to make sure we didn't forget about Ricard in that like he got so forgotten on Friday night. Or
Yeah. Hey, free agent news. Ricard joins Isaiah Likely in New York. He joins Ardarius Washington and Jordan Stout, all New York Giants, all following John Harbaugh. All know their standings with Harbaugh, and they will do that. Alohi Gilman 3 for $24 million to play in KC. We got a new safety for cheaper than that, who's probably a better player. And then, of course, Cheeto Awuzie, 1 year, $5 million deal, well earned from Cheeto. We get some stability in that room, Alec. Now we have Nate Wiggins, Marlon Humphrey, Cheeto, and TJ Tampa can all play outside corner. They can all play inside corner as well. So we have some true versatility there with four cornerbacks deep before we hit the draft.
Yeah, a lot of holes were plugged today, but let's get it out of the way. Let's talk about Crosby. Do you want to start? Should I start? How do you want to do this?
Go ahead, since I'll pull up the topic bar. No more Mad Max. Controversy erupts. Of course, Crosby had meniscus surgery in January, and when the Ravens doctors took a look at it, they decided that 2 first-round picks and a contract wasn't a good move. What did Eric say? His responsibility is to the Ravens first, to be responsible to the Ravens first, and they just to Jim's point. I'm not into the drama. I'm into who's on the roster and who's not. But we got to talk about it. The Ravens were not comfortable giving up 2 first-round picks from what they saw, what their doctors saw. Reportedly, some bone-on-bone action. Like they knew that he had a knee injury, but they didn't know that it looked that bad. So take it away, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, it's I was relieved. Frankly, I mean, everyone knows that I was down the trade, and but this is why. Frankly, like everyone was saying, he's an Iron Man. He plays for all the snaps. He won't get off the field. I'm like, yeah, but he's 29 now. Like that just means to me, like just unless he's like an alien, that he played through some injuries and like maybe he's going to be worse for wear. And they took a look at that knee, and I think correctly when they make that kind of draft capital expenditure, they want at least 3 years of this player at a high level. That's my expectation. Which also in the news comes out that they planned on having a new deal associated with this move, which frankly I was even more happy we got out of it, because I thought the whole reason this trade could even be appetizing was that his deal was kind of low relative to what other guys were getting in free agency. There's a little bit of value to be had there. So yeah, I mean, honestly, when it unfurled this way and we got all the information, like I said, relief, just because the biggest thing that you didn't want to have happen, and it could have just happened anyways, right? Like even if he was perfectly healthy, is he has a major injury and misses 2 of those years, or like a good chunk of both of those years, either recovering or not playing quite the same. And that'd be devastating. That can happen to any player, but when you give up so much for it, and arguably in a way that's like hard to get hard to fix. I think like, if you have a big cap hit, you can always play around with the cap, but like draft picks are sometimes the only way you have options, like first round picks, to like find certain kinds of players, right? Like we talk about the Ravens trying to find a wide receiver or trying to find an edge or things of that nature, because they don't show up in free agency too often. Or if they do, they're not quite like the most primo person, particularly like wide receiver, right? It's like, okay, we had that pick now, but then we lose it, and then it's troubling. So, anyways, I was never high on the trade, and then of course I do exactly what I was like wanting them to do all along. They were like obviously not the same player, but they go to get an impact player in Trey, and all it cost them was a 3rd round comp pick, right? So it's like that sounds much better to me. Keep your firsts, similar pay structure, and move on with their life. So yeah, I was relieved. And I think they did what they needed to do. The national nightmare of other, coaches and or other GMs and players not wanting to talk of us was clearly over very quickly. I never had a doubt about that. The Ravens have done this before. Other organizations have done it before. People go sign for trash organizations to make a buck. I was pretty confident when you have Lamar and the organizational stature we have, like they would still want to come. So, I kind of underplayed, didn't worry too much about, reputation around the league, and we move forward.
We move forward. Now, I love the move, so, I'm very disappointed in that. My feelings are more of like what Eric DaCosta said here. Very, very disappointing. A player I greatly admire, one of my favorite players in the entire NFL. He later said he was gutted by it. The big regret, the egg on his face that he has from this deal. And, the reason is like, this isn't this injury isn't like Tyreek Hill's knee bending the other way. Like it's a meniscus injury. It's a bone on bone type situation. Like eventually that thing's going to be arthritic, but Max showed that he could play through that pain, that he was plenty effective when his knee needed a meniscus cleanup. So for me, Alec, we'll disagree on that. I thought that for the next 3 years, you're going to get Maxx Crosby, 2 first-round picks. That's a different discussion. I was more than willing to give up the 14th pick, but this year, man, what a player, a dominant player in the mold of Terrell Suggs. Trey Hendrickson is not that. Trey Hendrickson is a rush specialist. Right. So Max just it was funny when DaCosta went up there today. I think what he did and how I want to shift this conversation, Alec, is you could tell DaCosta was very somber. He's gutted by it, a big regret. Talked about how much he admired the Raiders, how much respect he has for the Davis family and John Spytek and all that. And he said also that he had multiple conversations with the Raiders over a full day span about that. And there's been, rumors out there. EDC kind of shot it down and was like, look, once we saw that knee, we weren't interested. He said that without saying that towards the end of the press conference. But that, okay, if Max's knee is messed up that bad, how about instead of 2 first-round picks, we offer this? Like, could they have worked out an alternate trade? But, he talked about how hard it is to talk with the player. I mean, it's got to be awkward. So I do believe EDC, that's a tough decision. Like, he's the one that's got to talk to Maxx Crosby. He's the one that's got to make that awkward-ass call back to the Raiders. So, yeah, I kind of, when I first saw the move and the pivot to Hendrickson, I thought, yeah, this does seem a little shady. I can't help it, man. Like, grew up or all of us have seen shady people. It just seemed like a direct pivot. But listening to EDC today, I know that wasn't easy for him. And he acknowledged the skepticism surrounding the Crosby situation, that people are going to look at him funny, Alec, due to this situation. You're on mute, buddy.
Thank you. You'll believe whatever you want to believe in this situation, right? I'm not here to try to convince you otherwise. Not even before I even heard him speak today, I figured both could be true, that they were trying to pursue Trey and also get this deal done for Maxx Crosby, because I said on that Friday night, I expect them to continue with the aggression to like hedge that next year's pick would not be that valuable. And to try to make the biggest run they can at it in this window. So, you lose a guy like Linderbaum, you don't pay him a ludicrous sum of $27 million, and you go and use those dollars on a premium position in edge and go get a guy like Henderson. I mean, that makes all the sense in the world to me. So I just didn't think too much of it. I said, I believe this. I believe that they could have been in conversations for this player. I believe that they could be. This is not like related, and also because like I don't think I'm that smart. And on Friday night when they made this trade, I'm thinking to myself, like, if you really want an edge rusher, there's this guy named Trey Hendrickson available. Right. And it doesn't cost you a pick. Like everyone's like, oh, they found out the market wasn't that hot for him. Oh, they found out that like this like that they could get him and keep their picks. And I'm like, bro, that was always on the table. The market was probably pretty well known. And frankly, like if you're trying to make a move for Maxx Crosby and I want to give him a new deal anyways, the money was going to be the same. Like at
Well,
worst,
I mean, I just
at worst, the money would be the same.
right.
So,
And, EDC addressed that today, saying that those situations were mutually exclusive. Of course, you would expect him to say that. I mean, what's he going to say? Like,
sure.
no,
Yeah,
no. I mean, we saw Trey was, but anyway, Adam Schefter backed this up, and EDC gave the specifics that, look, as soon as we had this Linderbaum money left over, we were going to spend it. And hey, I brought it up on Monday night. Like, we have all this cap space. There are a lot of guys out there who aren't commanding high salaries. We can pay a high salary. If Trey Hendrickson is the BPA of the free agent market, the best player available, why not double down? If we lose our center, go get Maxx Crosby and Trey Hendrickson. So I brought that up with Dev on Monday night. And, today, a few hours ago, EDC said, look, we turned our attention to Trey after Tyler Linderbaum left. So it all happened so quickly.
I'm also really curious. This will never probably come out. Maybe it will. I don't know. But I'm curious. They clearly tried to renegotiate a trade. So I'm curious what they would be willing to give. It probably was one of those things, if I had to guess, that it went from like 2 firsts to like maybe this year's first, but probably like a second. Like it probably dropped dramatically, is my guess. And so much so that the Raiders did not believe that they could take that trade and like, I don't know, walk away with a smile. And frankly, after what they did in free agency and even just, having them one pick for Mendoza, I could see them turning this thing around really quick with Clint Kubiak. So I don't think, Maxx Crosby needs to be too upset about the situation if he does end up staying in the Raiders. I think that could be an organization on the rise. So yeah, I mean, watch the space. Like, I don't know. I kind of,
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they made a lot of nice investments, I thought. So we'll see.
Okay, so let us get to it. Trey Hendrickson obviously signed, big time pass rusher. There wasn't for Myles Garrett in the league. Trey Hendrickson could have a DPOY or two. I mean, back-to-back 17 and a half sack seasons, 2023, 2024. He had an injury-shortened season last year, had to have core muscle surgery. He's expected back. 100% fine this year. Same age as TJ Watt, so he's not terribly old. 4-year, $112 million contract. We get a pass rusher anyway, just a different style pass rusher. This guy is, not known for his run defense. He's going to line up over the left tackle almost all the time, and he's going to rush the blind side almost all the time. Whereas Maxx Crosby was the opposite, a strong side type player, a run setting, edge setting guy who could also give you sacks. Trey is a sack specialist. I like the fact that he is familiar within this division. He understands the stadiums, the travel, all that stuff. And he probably knows that the Ravens are a pretty good organization to play for, word around the league and all that other stuff. And he gets to get revenge on the Bengals, trying to sack Joe Burrow, possible week 1 matchup. Maybe could we see that? Or maybe we get a rematch in Pittsburgh opening week. Kind of feeling a divisional game week 1, Alec. But aside from that, the Trey Hendrickson signing, we get a pretty damn established pass rusher who's been good for a long time and should have those 3 good years left in them that you were talking about.
Yeah, I think now is a good time to bring up Mina's tweet. But you get this guy. Like you say, he's a different kind of player. He is not going to be playing on rundowns as much. He'll definitely be more of a, just like pass rush specialist, things of that nature. So we need to find a guy who can set the edge. And I really appreciate Mina Kime's tweet here of Clowney. I think that he would be an amazing acquisition. Really fill out the edge room nicely. I think they could also go with a guy like Van Noy if they wanted to. But I think I'd be a little bit more excited by Clowney. Yeah.
He's the dog on rundowns. I mean, Kyle Van Noy wasn't even playing rundowns last year. We threw Mike Green out there. That's a finesse older player who's just worn down. Really,
I agree. I wouldn't. Yeah. I wouldn't want that. I think though that there's only space for one of them. Is why I brought him up.
Of course, yeah. So we're burying the lead here. So you made me bring it up without being able to set up our good friend Dev Panchwal. Now, check this out, guys. So, Mina's talking about basically that Hendrickson is a very different player from Crosby, like we were just outlining. The strong side guy versus a weak side guy, havoc player versus a pure pass rusher type. And Dev says this is a great point by Mina. He says getting an edge setter isn't going to be hard. It's what the team has specialized on for years. There are plenty of options. So what does Mina Kimes do? She comments under Dev's tweet. Dev getting some love from the Mina Kimes. ESPN, she got her own podcast with her dog. What is it, Lenny? Right, Lenny?
No idea.
Yeah, she does great work. So she just says very quick, very simply, quick Photoshop, and puts a picture of Jadeveon Clowney in his Ravens uniform. Of course, no Photoshop necessary. The man was here in 2023, did a great job. So Mina Kimes, I don't know if she's heard anything or if this is speculation. But again, Jadeveon Clowney, yes, that's your Maxx Crosby type player. That's a guy who is a dog against the run and creates havoc in the pass game. So another option to like, okay, so you got Trey Hendrickson and you have Mike Green. Okay. Those two players, I think you could put in the same bucket. Mike Green is a more complete player. And you see them here on the graphic. You see over Stanley and Vincent on the left tackle side. Hendrickson, Mike Green, pass rushers. On the other side, you would have a guy like Clowney to go with Tavius Robinson. Those edge setting dog types to go over right tackle. Most teams are right-handed, of course, right-handed quarterback. Running backs like to run right. Everything's built to the right. So that's where the action goes. That's where you need your toughness in your players. So, yeah, Alec, thought that was great. Our old buddy Debonair Dev gets a comment from Mina Kimes, and you buried the lead and made it anticlimactic. So shout out to Dev.
Shout out to Dev. Pretty cool stuff. Yeah, I would love that. I don't think Mina's necessarily heard anything. I don't think she's teasing any information. I'm not saying that she's not connected in the league. I just think that she's kind of, I don't know, really astute. So I feel like she kind of knows the players that teams need. And I think she just identified that Clowney would be good, but also loves a good joke. Right. So yeah, definitely really a cool moment for Dev.
And of course, in the text message, what did I tell Dev?
What did you tell him? Let's see.
Come on, typical my joke. Told him to give Mina my number.
Yeah, that's right.
He did not come through. I did not get a text from Mina, but since they're so tight, you know what I mean. But yeah, this sack production, Trey Hendrickson, 81 sacks, Maxx 69.5. Of course, that is just a solid sack number. Maxx does so much more, but yeah. And I saw Jim ask, will Trey Hendrickson play on rundowns? Yeah, he's going to play a good bit. He's going to be 1st and 10 play. He's just going to be on that weak side, man. He's going to be over that left tackle. If they want to run left, I mean, that should be Roquan's side. That should be your right cornerback, physical cornerback, guarding the X receiver side. So yeah, he's not a great run defender, but again, best player available on that free agent market by far. And the Ravens land Trey Hendrickson. But yeah, great job by Dev there, bro. Great job by Dev.
Yeah. Sorry to mess up your presentation of that, but do you want to move on to some of the other signings?
Alec, you in a hurry, man? You in a hurry tonight?
No, I'm not in a hurry. I'm just saying. I don't know. What else do you want to say about Mr. Trey?
Nothing. I'm just excited, man.
Yeah.
I'm just excited, and I do believe that I want to touch on this topic. Now, I went to Sport Track. I tried to just get an idea of how much cap space the Ravens would have. They had the Lamar restructure on there. So Lamar, total restructure, full restructure, I believe it's called, by the Ravens. EDC said we just ran out of time for a Lamar extension. So they decided to do the restructure to open up cap space. And he says he remains hopeful that Lamar will extend for the team. So I want to say this, first of all. I'm bummed out about this because Lamar's got to do what he's got to do. I'm never going to fault the player. He's making the best business decision he feels for himself. There's a chance that he's waiting for other quarterbacks to up that number first, and then he can go extend after that. But I would have rather seen him sign an extension. Why? Because Lamar's only signed through 2027. I don't like that. I do not like that. Like, we opened up 40 million space. Okay, that's great. Awesome. We needed to do it. But what I really would have liked to seen is Lamar extends with the Ravens through 2030 or 2031 or something like that. And that did not happen. Bisciotti asked for Lamar to do that at his presser. He also asked for Lamar to, quote, get his ass up here during the head coaching search. Lamar went by Zoom. So I'm a little disappointed in this. But the Ravens did open up $40 million in cap space. Now, Alec, this is what I'm going to kick it to you on. They did not have the Hendrickson signing on there. So if Trey Hendrickson makes $30 million a year, that first year cap number is probably 15, you thinking, right?
20.
So
Probably 20.
15,
I mean,
20.
we'll see. Yeah.
So we're still going to have like 30 to $35 million in cap space available. Do the Ravens ever carry over $30 million in cap space? No. And I do not expect them to make all these little 5 million here, 10 million here type deals to fill this roster with all the draft picks. I'm going to predict it right here, fellas, ladies and gentlemen. The Ravens are going to make a big trade. They are going to acquire a Jalen Carter, AJ Brown, some other player that we're not thinking of, Alec, because there are tons of players in this league that are getting ready to come up on a new deal that a team knows they're not going to be able to sign. We're not talking about them. We haven't identified them, but that the Ravens are going to make a big trade and use some of this $30+ million that they're going to have in cap space, even after the Trey Hendrickson signing becomes official. So I'm going out on a limb. I'm predicting that the Ravens are going to make another splash move. They're not just going to sit on tens of millions of dollars in cap space. They're going to use it, and they're going to try to get, not Maxx Crosby, but a Maxx Crosby impact type player with that money, like they were planning to do in the first place.
Yeah. One of the guys that you didn't mention is maybe a guy like Waddle. I know that Waddle was floated as a guy that might get traded. That's not as huge of a splash as a guy like Carter or AJ Brown, but I think that might be an option. But yeah, we'll see. I think the way that DaCosta spoke about the first round pick was telling, that he will use it to select a player that's worth a first round pick or whatever. Like, the way he said that, I feel like he's very open to getting rid of this pick this year. And
yeah. And Kwame, I agree with you, brother. I think it's going to be on offense.
Yeah.
I mean, Jalen Carter, you can't turn that down. But, like, I could see us going for a big name receiver, like you're talking about, Alec, with Jalen Waddle. Maybe he's not as valuable as he once was. Did Tua have something to do with that? Probably, but
a little bit.
But yeah, man, like Kwame, I feel like it's going to be on offense, like a veteran receiver or somebody that we're not seeing coming. Maybe a veteran, like offensive linemen are tough to trade for, though, Alec.
Yeah, they are. And I don't think they'll do it because it's an organizational strength. Now, granted, like, this is a new O-line coach, but he has pedigree, and we have organizational strength of converting mid-round draft picks into like good guards. Now, granted, like, we need somebody this year, to perform in the guard spot, and this year to perform in the center spot. So there's a little bit more added pressure, but I could see them potentially leaning on that muscle of theirs. So
you can't see it, but that's the sport track right there. I'm going to take it off, but it's showing us at 54 million, almost 500,000. So 54.5 between the Trey, before the Trey Hendrickson signing. Alec is going to predict Trey Hendrickson's first year cap charge at 20 million. So that would still leave us with about 35 million there, Alec. Pretty nuts.
Yeah, there's a good bit of money. I will say, I think there's a world where because they didn't get Lamar done now and they did a full restructure of the 40 million, you could get creative about the way it's structured, but I don't think they will. If they, well, I don't think.
No, I'm sorry. I'm laughing at Afia. She zoomed in on that madness. I'm sorry, Afia. I looked at it. I'm like, ooh, I couldn't even see it. Love you, Afia. Great smile. Also, want to say hi to Tracy's in here. King Blaze, I see you. Taurus, I see you. Thanks for repping the channel. And Taurus, I'm going to smack you in the back of the head if you don't start letting us know when you go live here, man. I think I speak for a lot of people. But yeah, sorry for laughing. Afia actually cracked me up.
No, you're good. Um, yeah, so I think they might have to do another like simple restructure if they were to sign Lamar at this point to like get that number back down. Because like for instance, they give him a big signing bonus, which they probably
Hmm.
would, then it would no longer be a minimum that would have to get applied to this year. They could also just maybe defer it though until next year. But I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter. They'll figure it out. Like I'm not worried about it. Um,
They still got that Linderbaum money to spend, though, brother.
yeah. So I think things are going to happen now. If they're going to sign a couple more linemen, I think that's going to eat up about 15 million of those dollars. So I don't think it's as much as we think per se. But they hadn't done anything with Roquan. They haven't done anything with Marlon. There's more money to be found if they really want to.
Broderick.
And yeah, dude. Okay, let's go to that real quick. So Broderick Washington's still on the team. Fascinating. There must be no like timeline on having to cut him to get those dollars back. So they're just like, twiddling their thumbs on it. But surely
Right.
he's going to get cut. Similarly, Cooper Rush. This mofo needs to go. Like, so he's still on the team. I don't understand why. You got a guy like Hill. I think at this point, they got rid of Keene. It sounds like he's going somewhere. I don't know if that's official yet, but he said goodbye to Baltimore. So that's no good.
Yeah.
I thought Hill would get cut. Shoot, man. Like, we'll see what happens here. But they got some more levers, like you said, and probably another 10 million they can free up pretty quickly.
Voorhees is another guy. They bring in a
Yeah,
couple of
Voorhees.
vets.
Hey,
Voorhees with the 4 mil.
I heard this floated today, and I'm curious your thoughts. Voorhees at center.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he probably, you could probably definitely get like 4 games out of him. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, you look at his history, it's, every other year he's hurt.
Sure.
Going back to 2017, when he
Yeah.
first entered college in 2017, the year of our Lord. Sorry, Andrew, but yeah, I am not counting on Andrew to start for this team, period. Like with his injury history and how crappy he played last year, that would be an emergency for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, for sure. But okay. So yeah, there's some cuts that could be made. There's some movements that they could do to get the dollars back. But yeah, I think that there's a big move still in their back pocket. But really excited about the way they aggressively filled in some of these holes today. Not all of them were the way I would have done it, but at the same time, I'm not Declan Doyle. I'm not EDC, so.
You down with EDC?
What's that? Am I down with them?
Yeah, me was the correct answer.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's talk about Jaylinn Hawkins, the veteran safety signed with the Ravens 2-year, $10 million contract. And just to remind you, Gilman signed for 3 for 24.
Crazy.
So about eight per year. Yeah, 8 a year for Gilman. We get this guy for 2 years, $10 million contract. You see the PFF grades up there. Coverage grade 12th, run defense grade 15th. He's just a solid all-around player, Alec. And what I gather from this is where I'm thinking. If you saw the depth chart, so great price on that, $5 million a year. I have Jaylinn Hawkins now in that free safety spot, Alec, all the way up at the top, because I think that although Hawkins is a versatile safety, I like Malachi Starks' versatility a little bit more than Hawkins as far as being able to cover in man coverage. I thought Malachi Starks looked really good in that. As far as run support, tackling, I think Malachi Starks looked really good in his tackling and his run support, better than I thought. Whereas Jaylinn Hawkins, I'd like him to be that safety blanket on the back end. The beautiful part is, like, what I think will happen is they'll play sides, Alec. So, okay, Hawkins on the left in this, or in the right side of the defense, Starks on the other side. And when the team switches to their strong side and goes strong side left, they don't have to switch spots. They can keep working with the same cornerbacks, same side of the field all year, because both Starks and Jaylinn Hawkins are versatile players. So I really like this fit. I think he's a better tackler than Gilman for sure. And he's good in the back end. So this was the veteran safety that we needed to allow Kyle to play up close to the line of scrimmage. So you got Hawkins and Starks in the back end. Like I'm saying, probably playing sides so they can get comfortable because both of them can do it everything. And Kyle Hamilton can be that joker on defense. So this was an important signing to get done before the draft, Jaylinn Hawkins.
Yeah, pretty stoked about it. 4 interceptions last year. Kind of had a career year last year playing down the stretch too with the Patriots. I heard he got better as time went on. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think great point about keeping them on the same sides and having them communicate with the same corner most of the time. I think that would make a lot of sense in how Minter likes to do things. He keeps things vanilla as far as how it looks to you. And relies on, good communication and in play adjustments, so to speak, like changing things during the play. So I think that'd be smart, have that rapport. Very cool. Very, very cool.
I was thinking, I don't know if you guys remember this, but not the year Marcus Williams got benched and everything. What was that, 2024? But 2023, we had a great defense. And I think it was the 49ers. I remember a big time game. We beat the 49ers. But on that first drive, what they did is they put Kittle on the other side, on Marcus Williams' side, and just abused him on like the first drive or two, Alec.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, okay, Marcus Williams can't cover tight ends. He's not physical enough. Guess what we'll do? We know he's going to be on the right side of your defense. Cool. We'll put George Kittle on the left side. And we'll just throw him short passes, and you can't cover him. You can't squeeze the zone fast enough. And, Marcus Williams is going to have a hard time dragging him down. So that's what I love about like we had to adjust to that, Alec, and eventually play sides and just put Marcus Williams as far away from the action as we could. Mike McDonald, of course, did it masterfully. Again, not the season, not 2024 when Marcus Williams got benched, but the year before. With Jaylinn Hawkins, we don't have to do that. Like both him and Malachi can pretty much handle any assignment. And I love that. And I think you made a great point. You don't have to do any pre-snap deception. You don't have to do like the whole pre-snap. Oh crap, you're over here. No, I'm over here. Okay. It gives you that extra 5 seconds to be able to know what you're looking at, to prepare what you're looking at on your side. So I love that.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on this. I'm glad that they took care of this safety acquisition. Now versus training camp or whatever, kind of how they kick the can down the road. I could see them still drafting a safety. I could see them adding another safety still. I expect it, actually. Yeah. I expect it. But this is a good move. This is a player that they can plug in, feel confident plugging in, and going from there.
Yeah, I think drafting a safety would be good. You look at the screen now. Yeah, Kyle Hamilton is a safety. We play base defense. Maybe Hawkins comes off the field, or maybe Starks comes off the field in that situation, and we put Kyle Hamilton on the back end when we're only going with 2 corners and there's no nickel on the field. But this is a really good move. I would think you would draft a young guy. That's kind of where I'm going instead of signing another veteran safety. I think you draft a young guy. You always have Hamilton that can play back there. You got demons like Keandre Jackson, Keon Martin that kind of fill on special teams that'll be active. So I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. The other signing I think is a really important one in Durham Smythe. Have the contract details been released?
I couldn't find any. I looked into it right before the show. Yeah. I have to imagine he's pretty cheap. I have to imagine he doesn't impact the comp pick formula. Mm-hmm. That's the way I can cope with him being signed over Kohler. I'm not trying to say one thing or the other with the limited amount of tape I was able to watch. And I know he's, Declan Doyle's guy. They worked together last year and things of that nature. And he brings you some known fullback versatility to this position, which I think is nice. But just the few clips I watched of him, I felt like Kohler's a better blocker. Kohler's actually caught the damn ball. I think Kohler's a much more complete tight end. So it really pained me to see Durham Smythe sign for anything more than, $4 or $5 million over 2 years, over both years, dude. Both years. Oh. I wanted dirt cheap because, 5 is 5 a year, 5, 2 for 10. That's dangerously close to the APY of Kohler. Now, granted, he got an extra year and things of that nature, but
And he also might be TM tight end one. Like,
yeah. No, I have
Kolar might be on like you always look at it like not you, but people always look
no.
at it like the Ravens is make an offer and somebody takes it. Like Kolar didn't
I,
want to be here. Like, yeah, he probably
I can
wanted the
say with
chance to catch.
pretty strong confidence that the biggest reason Kohler is not a Raven right now was not money, and it was playing time, an
There we
opportunity
go.
to let his wings fly. I think he's tired of being in the shadow, and I don't blame him.
Right, same thing, but likely. So I don't blame the
Yeah.
Ravens for both of those. Hey, I want to pivot because I didn't get your opinions on that. I see people in the chat talking about Keaton. I was not happy with this at all.
Livid.
I asked Jeff Zreback about this. I want to, and you guys that were tuned in on Monday, remember me saying, well, maybe Keaton asked out. You know what I mean? Maybe Keaton was like, hey, let me be the featured back somewhere. I don't want to sit behind Derrick Henry. Please, Ravens, do not tender me. Might have problems. And so I asked Jeff, is it possible that Keaton asked the Ravens not to tender him so he could get a better opportunity elsewhere? Or is this likely just a scheme fit price type of decision? I understand he's an early down back and Henry needs his carries, but I still don't get it. So I asked Jeff Z straight up, like, I don't like the move. What was it? He said it had more to do with the $3 million price tag than anything. So it was a financial decision to let Keaton go per Jeff Zreback, who everybody knows. I don't have to tell you. And thanks, Jeff, for getting back to me so soon on that. Jeff knows what he's talking about. So a financial decision to let go of Keaton.
Gross. Disgusting. No other words, man. Hill is a really good player for us. Neck injuries are scary. I mean, we're talking about Matt Beacon not coming back from a neck injury. You can cut him and still have the dollars, even if it's 3.5. Like, assume 3.5 gets it done. You still have some extra dollars if you cut him and keep Keaton. I prefer it. Maybe there's medicals we don't know about with that knee that scare him away or whatever, but I'm super disappointed. Keaton was a guy I've been hyped about since we signed him as a UDFA. Hyped about every time he touched the damn ball. Just absolute electricity. And it'd be a shame for him to go somewhere else, but it'd be great for my fantasy teams. My dynasty teams where he's just lavishing, similar to Kohler, who I have everywhere, because I knew this guy would flourish next year out of our, system potentially. But anyways, good for that. Bad for the team. I'd rather the team be good. So, disappointed, man. But hopefully Keaton can do some cool things in the league and we can watch his highlights.
Yeah, I mean, look, I would love to big brain this for you and be like, well, the reason Keaton didn't sign is, bro, you take Keaton Mitchell on your team. You take him. I don't care if Derrick Henry's your RB1. I don't care if he's not the best fit for outside zone. You find a way to give Keaton Mitchell the damn ball, 5 to 8 times a game. And to me, that's more than worth being 3.5 million, especially we just talked about. We're sitting there with, even after Trey Hendrickson, a good 35 million. Like, what the hell, 3.5 million just doesn't seem much for me. So this is the move that bothers me more than any. Like, I knew Kolar was where I had a feeling Kolar wanted a different team, different role, didn't want to be the sweat hog of a blocker. Maybe he gets a different, taste over there with Harbaugh, Jim Harbaugh. I knew Likely was gone. He talked about that, but man, Tyler Linderbaum hurts, couldn't do anything about it. Draymond, Godspeed, but Keaton, bro, for 3.5, it just kind of pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah, it's one of the more disappointing moves so far for sure. Any other players? Yeah, we got other players.
We definitely do. We have to keep talking about Durham Smythe. Now, what I will say about this, what I do like, I like him more than you for 2 reasons. Number one, you acknowledged it. He knows Declan Doyle. He played for Declan Doyle last year in Chicago. And remember, this Chicago team had Cole Kmet, drafted Colston Loveland. So they already had a logjam at tight end. Durham Smythe did the dirty work for them. Durham Smythe does something that Charlie Kolar does not do, or did not give the opportunity to do, or, because we had Pat Ricard. Durham Smythe played a lot of fullback when they wanted it. So he can execute those blocks. Durham Smythe can line up close to the line. Then you can shift, put him in fullback, and he can do a lot of the Pat Ricard blocks. He can do a lot of the Isaiah Likely H-back type stuff that they asked Isaiah to do. Durham Smythe does all that. So he's also an inline blocker. So as far as versatility, like Durham Smythe, better move blocker than Charlie Kolar. Like you're getting the Isaiah Likely move blocking, you're getting the Charlie Kolar inline blocking. So he's a more complete blocker than Kolar. In the pass game, no comparison. Charlie Kolar is a better pass catcher, better receiver than Durham Smythe. But yeah, from a blocking standpoint, this guy will be able to learn the system, obviously, very quickly. Declan Doyle has a feel for what he can ask Smythe to do. So I
Do you
really
like him better
like
than
this.
Ricard?
Well, I mean, if I'm asking somebody to inline block, then I'd
Yeah.
probably take Smythe, but Smythe can't be a Pat Ricard on the other fronts.
Yeah. See, because like part of me just thinks he's just a blocker, like
He is.
like I know, but like, and part of me is like, okay, if he's just a blocker, then would I rather have a guy like Pat Ricard? But I get what you're saying. I mean, he's a different body type. He's a little bit different of a player. He might better fit the offense. So I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. It's just it's a tough compare for me. And I hope, and I don't know how you feel about this dude, but I hope that he gets buried on this depth chart. I hope that whoever we draft,
Smythe? Yeah.
I hope that we draft a tight end who's known for his pass catching and he surprises us with his ability to block and grows into it faster than most. And Smythe's just not that big of a factor because we're able to run a more versatile tight end. Mm-hmm. I find this guy he seems like a Boyle minus as far as I can tell. I think Boyle had more of a pass catching chops and was better at blocking.
Boyle's a better comparison, I think, for sure.
Yeah. So I'm not super thrilled about the move, but I'm happy from the perspective of clearly it's a guy that Declan Doyle has familiarity with, has a vision for.
Yes.
And that's worth something.
I do. And you know what else? The other angle, Alec, is if Durham Smythe is the go-to guy as the blocker, that could also mean the Ravens could go after somebody like Justin Jolie and be like, okay, look, we don't have to, Alec, we don't have to draft a tight end who can block. Let's go get the best receiving tight end in the draft on the board. Mm-hmm. Instead of getting like a combo tight end. Let's just go get the best receiver out there in tight end. So I think he also allows you some flexibility in the draft because, as you know, most of these college guys can't block. And if they can, it's going to take them a year in the weight room to really, become a good inline blocker. So Smythe buys you time for that kind of thing. There are a couple of good blockers in the draft. Sam Roush out of Stanford, Martin Klein out of Michigan. But there's no, those guys are on the board compared to a guy like Justin Jolie or some of these receiving tight ends. You probably want the pass catcher, Alec.
But you know what the biggest miss was, my friend? No Jackson Halls on this team. We were calling it last year.
Yeah,
he'd been perfect. I thought it was so cool when Jackson Halls became like a meme in the if you know ball side of football conversations. Like everyone was talking about how he transformed that Buffalo team and was a huge addition and like kind of like an under the radar guy. And I was like, yeah. Huddle Up Films had that. You could have known.
I was bummed, dude. We took Teddy, and Chris was very happy. I don't know if Halls went before or after him, honestly, but
Halls was in like that no man's land where I'm not too upset looking at the draft that we never picked him. Like he was picked at value. Like he never really slipped per se, and I honestly do think we used our 4th and 5th round picks nicely. Like the guys we got instead in that area, I'm not upset about. So, but yeah, anyways, we can move on.
You know what? Thought on LeJohntay here. He got to run some routes and didn't get the ball. He had a wide open touchdown. Falele missed the block. It would just been a walk-in touchdown. Lamar was looking right at LeJohntay. He had a couple of other routes where he was the short guy, the check down type guy. Late in the game, we went 4 wide receivers and spread it out. Late in the half, LeJohntay can run some routes, Alec. Slippery.
That'd be nice. The wide receiver position right now is a little scary to me. I mean, I'm not too worried about it at the moment. I had this thought. Ravens fans would hate it. I would be amused by it. But there's only one guy left that can get those like free dollars against the cap, and that's Tylan Wallace at this point. So like
Okay.
we could bring him back on the vet min plus some extra juice, like we did with Ricard last year.
Watch, I'm telling you, man, we're gonna trade for AJ Brown. We might, dude. What if we land AJ Brown and Jalen Carter from the Eagles? One trade. Give up that first round pick.
What else? I mean, I think it's gonna take more than just one first.
I don't know. Do you see AJ Brown's?
If it takes only one first, sign me up. You can give that 14th
Well,
away.
I actually, Ashley, close your ears. But as part of that trade, also, we have to send Rashod Bateman out to give him a fresh start. So you give him a fresh start. Eagles get that nice Rashod Bateman under contract for nice and cheap. We get AJ Brown. So our starting two wide receivers are AJ Brown and Zay Flowers. And when we go to 11 personnel, we still got Tez Walker we can throw in the slot.
Yeah.
That's kind of where we're going with that.
I heard
Get on the phone, EDC. Huddle It Up Films. I'm a third person myself on this. I predicted a lot, man. I predicted a lot. I was in on the Trey Hendrickson stuff on Monday, bro, after the Maxx Crosby signing. I was in on Emory Jones. I've gotten a lot right, Alec.
Huddle Up Films is where you go when you're in the know, right?
Howie Roseman, EDC, one of the few GMs that they like get along famously. AJ Brown is fed up with Jalen Hurts. He's done the best he can. He's reading self-help books on the sideline, trying to keep his calm. Philly fans are mad at AJ Brown for dropping the ball in the playoffs. You send Bateman, you send a pick for AJ Brown. And if you really got the big cojones, they just signed Jordan Davis to a big contract. There's a talk out there that they can't sign Jalen Carter. Go ahead and send a first-round pick in Bateman for those two guys, Alec.
Could be interesting. I do believe they're trying to shop Bateman at the moment.
I'm pissing them off. I'm pissing them off.
You are. Yeah.
I
would be disappointed to see him go, but I would understand the circumstances.
I think Bateman needs a fresh start, honestly. Like for him.
I don't know if he needs it. I think he might get another fresh start with one true Declan Doyle, but don't quote me on that. Could be a Lamar thing. Yeah. I don't know. Wide receiver needs some work. They're definitely going to do something about it. Either
Taurus, if you were Bateman though, like if you were Rashod Bateman, do you kind of feel like you would need a new change, like a change of scenery? Like I honestly feel that as a player, like he's battled injuries here. I think he said recently he don't feel like the fans appreciate him enough. He's got a lot of people around here make fun of him for this and that, and they view him as the receiver who's always hurt. I think a fresh start would probably be good for Bateman. You can't give him away. His contract is too valuable. But I feel like he's gotten a raw deal here too, because you said it. You don't know if it was Monken or maybe Lamar, but all those reads, Alec, were going to Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews on that side. You can see it on the screen. So you see where Flowers is lined up. You see where Andrews is lined up on the screen. Lamar was looking that way first. And they were high-lowing and doing all kinds of route combos over there. And, if I got time, we'll go over across the field to Bateman. Yeah. I don't know if that was Lamar, if that was Monken, if it was a combination of the two, but I have a feeling that Bateman might want to go out. But yeah, Jim, Doyle's will be a Bates fresh start. That's true. Poor Ashley, leave Bate alone. Yeah.
No, I hear you. I've liked the Bateman pick since it happened. I've been known to yell Bate game whenever he gets the ball and hope that he was going to turn it on. I was thrilled to see his 24 season to go the way it did. I thought it finally has happened. And this last year was a big disappointment, but it was a big disappointment for the whole team. So we move on. Happy to see what happens with him next. And I would understand why people would be upset if he had to go. It'd be tough.
It'd be tough. Yeah, I'm not giving him away. I'm just saying,
and frankly, I don't think EDC wants to give him away either. He talked about in his press conference how hard it was to see Linderbaum and likely go and other guys. I think he means it. First of all, he identified those players in the draft and gave them the call and made the pick. I think that makes him sentimental about him. But I also think he does truly like those players. And, you know, I think it's a tough time of year for him. I think it's particularly tough this year, given the amount of players that we lost, like we were going to lose, because that draft class was so loaded with contributors.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because earlier in the show we're talking about I kind of believe EDC when he said it was tough for him to look Crosby in the eye and tell him it was tough for him to call the Raiders. It's tough for him. It's gutting, all that because of what you just said. He does seem like I love Bateman. I love Mark Andrews. Who else did he say? I love Marlon. It's almost like sometimes I get on EDC for being too sentimental. Like, you got to take emotions out of this. This is a multi-billion-dollar business. But I was I feel you. I think he does love Bateman. He was talking about that's my receiver, and I saw him and all that other stuff. So yeah, old sentimental DaCosta.
Yeah, I think he also looked like he hadn't slept in a while. The
Right.
he has an IV of Red Bull or something. Shoot. Yeah, he looked worse for wear. I was going to make the joke, though, dude. You're talking about him and Howie getting together. He said he wasn't going to be in town this weekend. He's going up there to go talk to Howie. You know what I'm saying?
It seemed fun, kind of funny, didn't it?
He's about to go golfing with Howie at some resort.
Yeah.
They're going down to Jupiter or something.
You know who doesn't get too sentimental? Guys that look like this.
Dude, I should have sent you the picture. One of my friends, Derek, he was like, he took a picture of Bisciotti and DaCosta, and he was like, would we expect anything less when talking about the Maxx Crosby deal falling through? Anything less from like this supervillain looking guy and his henchman? I thought it was pretty funny.
What's up, Romy? Sprechen Sie Deutsch out there? That means, do you speak German?
Yeah, I do know that one. Yeah,
it's not really a great thing to say. You know any German that you can speak to Romy Raven?
I only know the German that Geddy Lee shouted out during the R30 tour live show.
But you don't know who's down with OPP. Yeah, you know me.
Yeah, that's correct. I don't know that, and I've been getting roasted not only in this chat but in other chats for not knowing that. So it's the cross I bear.
So yeah, what's the German that Geddy Lee from Rush?
He would say like Dakuben, if I recall correctly, which I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Maybe like all right or something. I forget. Now that I'm on the spot, I'm not remembering all. But yeah.
Not
but
under pressure.
No, it's a shame.
So, okay, I feel I like this. Decent. Decent, or does that mean he's decent, or does that mean he only spends a cent? That's so funny.
Oh, Garnett
in there, yeah. He's all happy and showed up. Yeah, he was kind of gloating about the trade falling through, and it wasn't making me happy. I didn't go back at him to Garnett. I let him have his say. But I did go back at you.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I maybe no one's more out on this trade than me when it happened. Apparently, I couldn't believe it that I was on an island. That I was the
that descent. Yes. Many men wish death upon him. Blood in his eyes, dog, and he can't see.
Every dollar counts. I like that, TY.
I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be, but Alex trying to take my life away. Put a hole in an Alec for messing with me. Back's on the wall now. You gonna see. Better watch how you talk when
you looking at me.
You talk about me. That's very close, though.
Not bad. I got rhymes.
Many picks. many picks. Wish death upon me, Lord. I don't cry no more. Take it away, Alec.
I got nothing.
Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. All right, yeah. Let me not embarrass myself anymore. Yeah, King Blaze is here. He actually has skills. I have skills too, King Blaze. I'm just old at this point. So yes, 50. That's what I got. So okay, yeah, 100% Mayo. Garnett. That's why we worked well together. That's why we worked well. You help counter some of that out. So hey, Yeah, I got thrown off there. Okay. So, Alec, look on depth chart one more time, bro, before we go. John Simpson in, help fortify left guard. I don't feel like this is like a move, John Simpson, where you have to start him. Like you didn't pay him money, like we got to start this guy kind of money, but he can start if you want. So if we get a better left guard or we draft a left guard, like I could see a scenario, Alec, in which John Simpson starts the first 8 games and then some rookie takes over for him, like Vega Uwane or something like that.
Very expensive insurance policy is what I view him as. 10 is more than I want to pay a guy who's not going to play. If we draft Vega and Jones looks the part and center somebody else, like it'd be disappointing to spend 10 there on a backup player, but it's a nice insurance policy because he's above replacement level and also has traits. Like his biggest thing is his technique is still poor.
Right.
And like, I know he's 28, so that technique might be set in stone, but like you're saying there's a chance it might work for us, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could see a way where you can believe that he could be even better than,
and he's going to kick ass in the run game because that's what he does.
Yeah, man. So I think Simpson's fine if he plays all the games. Hopefully he's earned it, and that would be a good outcome for the Ravens as well. But clearly somewhere they're looking to improve.
Add that veteran center, bro. Add that veteran center with if you add Tyler Linderbaum to this right here, you'd feel really good. You'd feel really good to be like, look, we got Hendrickson, we got Tyler Linderbaum back, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Cheeto's coming back. You would feel awesome about it. Still be mad about Keaton Mitchell, but you'd feel awesome about it. We need that veteran center in here, buddy, like immediately before the draft. And I think that's the one big hole.
Yeah, I thought somebody got cut again, but maybe I'm misremembering.
Or how about Eric McCoy from the Saints, a team that's notoriously in cap hell. Guy I loved coming out of the draft, a very good player. He's on that top 5 center getting paid list. Wonder if I still have that up. But yeah, Eric McCoy, there he is. Top 5 center contracts before the Linderbaum sighting. You see McCoy on there at $12 million. Maybe we could trade for the Saints. You know how the Saints are with their cap and trying to clear space. Get that veteran center in here, man. We cannot mess around with protecting Lamar and opening holes for Derrick Henry.
Yeah, I think their cap situation is under control now, but don't quote me on that. I think
Saints?
I think they ate their medicine last year. I think they're good now. But yeah, no, I hear you, dude. Center's a big hole, and it's one that I don't like crave spending huge money on it or huge draft assets, but at the same time, it's a quick place to have issues. We all know that interior pressure is one of the best ways to disrupt a quarterback. Yep. If your center's playing like garbage, or the bad snaps. I think that the Ravens fan base has some serious trauma, and they should talk to a therapist about it, about like snap quality. Like this is not a normal problem that NFL teams deal with. I think that was a uniquely Ravens problem that one year.
That one year.
Like,
I mean, dude,
like
it got
centers,
Lamar concussed.
Like centers typically can snap the ball effectively. This is usually a table stakes. It's like being like, oh, my cornerback can run fast. Like usually those things go hand in hand. We just so happen to have one year where we happen not to have that. I don't think we need to over provision the importance of someone who's able to snap the ball. That should just be like a part of the job description.
Kind of like being smart. If you're center, you got to be smart. You got to snap the ball.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Right. I do have faith in Bullock, but I'm not putting all my eggs in the Bullock basket, Jim. That's why I want a veteran in there, man. Like we got all this money. Let's use it. All right, Alec. So that'll do it for tonight. Thank you to everybody who came in.
Man.
That's it. Unless you got something else, unless you got some lyrics you want you want some quizzing on.
No, I'm good. But I appreciate being able to go on this show. Enjoy the conversations we had in the chat tonight. What a roller coaster it's been the last few days, man. And I think things are looking up. I think things are looking okay personally. Understand the disappointment, honestly, of many fans with the Crosby deal. I think that'd been really neat, like in a world where he's healthy and contributing at the level that you expect from him. That had been electric on this team, frankly, and something kind of cool. As despondent as I was on Friday night, and I was on Ken's show, by the end of it, I was feeling better about everything. I slowly started, drinking the Kool-Aid of like how cool that could have been. But now that that's passed, I'm excited about the moves we did make that are, looking pretty solid. Like they're not going to fall through. And yeah, man, just looking forward to seeing how the team continues to grow, looking into some prospects. Got that first pick back. Now we can look at some of those top prospects again and going from there.
It's true. And hey, there's about 5 starting centers in this draft. So we can get one. It's just
do both.
Do both. You could, get some workout at one of the guard spots for one of them. We'll see. We got time, man. We got time. But I was brokenhearted with the Crosby thing. He just played like a Raven, bro. Like I just can't describe it. We need somebody like that. We need an ass kicker up front. Something serious, man. Tavius style, but just who can actually get 14 sacks a year sometimes, like a Tavius with 14 sacks would be the fan favorite, So that's what we were looking at with Max, but unfortunately it just didn't work out. So thanks to everybody who contributed. Thanks to my football family. Thank you for watching on replay. Again, just a plug, if you can subscribe, please subscribe if you can. If you're not already, trying to get up to 5,000, you can become a member. You can get some merch, bro. And Alec, of course, has the Football is Family on his mic, which is really, really awesome. So thank you, everybody. Love you so much. We will see you next Wednesday. Big board coming out very, very soon. Once we get these needs set, I will set the big board and put it out. So with that, Alec, please say goodnight to everybody. Love all y'all.
Good night, everybody. And thanks so much, Samuel, for the super chat.
Thank you, Samuel, for the super chat. Thank you, Zhang and Samuel, for the super chats 2 days ago. Appreciate you. Thank you, Alec.
Yeah, I want to make sure we catch that because I think we did miss it earlier. So
we do. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Take care, guys.
Night, guys. Hey, go Ravens. Let's sign some more guys.